As a society, we have learned to equate success on a health and fitness journey with how much a person weighs or how small or toned they look. The majority of fitness blogs or what I eat in a day TikTok videos start off with a body check and someone showing off their toned physique, which sends the message, if I just do what this person does, I too will look this way, which is then followed by the frustration of not being able to stick to the same habits or routines as other people, or the disappointment of following all of the things you think you're supposed to do and yet not looking the way you were told you'd look if you did those things. We are taught there is only one way to measure progress, the number on the scale, and if that does not change, then we have failed. But this is not true, and it's time that we start to shift the narrative of what success can look like on a health and fitness journey. If you're watching this video, it's likely that focusing solely on physical goals or physical aspects of progress up to this point has not gotten you where you want to be. So in this video, I am sharing why it's important to focus on non-weight related progress, why everyone can benefit from focusing on non-weight related progress even if you have specific physical goals, 15 non-weight related ways to track progress, and how to integrate these principles. So starting off with number one, why it's important to focus on non-weight related progress. There are many people who want to focus on their health, on feeling healthier, on feeling fitter or stronger, but have no desire to change their physical body. There are also plenty of people who are not in a place where it's healthy for them to focus on physical body changes, but they want to focus on certain aspects of their health. We put way too much emphasis on someone's body weight and size equaling their health. And not only is this not true or applicable in all cases, but it can also be really damaging to have this mindset. Not only does it pathologize people who live in larger bodies, but it also leads us to mistake the idea that if I am smaller or if I weigh a certain amount on the scale, that means that I am healthy. The truth is that you can be healthy regardless of what your BMI is, and just because you are in a healthy BMI or weight range does not automatically make you healthy. There are plenty of people who live in what is considered a socially acceptable body, and yet they don't do anything to take care of their health. Genetically, they are just able to maintain their body without having to focus on their health. They might drink all the time. They may not prioritize sleep at all. They may even participate in habits that can be detrimental to their health, and yet their body still remains at a socially acceptable size. Personally, as someone who has dealt with multiple chronic illnesses, I was the sickest that I have ever been, all while still living in a body that is considered to be at a normal weight. So if you were to use physical appearance or weight as a metric for health, then I would have been considered healthy. Focusing solely on weight can also lead to negative body image and a negative relationship to yourself. It can perpetuate weight stigma, lead to poor mental health and obsession with one's body weight and size, lead to unnecessary restriction in dieting, and on top of that, it can lead people to make decisions about how much or what to eat or the frequency in which they work out based on how close or far away they are from their desired number on the scale rather than their body's true needs. Number two, why everyone can benefit from focusing on non-weight related progress even if you have specific physical goals. Even if you have specific physical goals, there is no guarantee that those goals that you have for yourself are attainable or maintainable for your unique body. Unless you are working with a nutrition or fitness expert who has evaluated where you're at and what your goals are and how frequently you are participating in habits in order to get yourself to those goals. There is no way to truly determine what is an attainable goal for our body. Many pick a random number on the scale that they want to reach without really putting a lot of thought into exactly why they're picking that number. It just feels like what they think that they should weigh in order to feel good about themselves and their body. And even if you are able to reach those physical goals, there's no guarantee that that is going to be maintainable for your body or for your lifestyle. And the main reason that it is so important to focus on other metrics of progress is because at the end of the day, does it really matter if you reach the number on the scale that you wanted to reach, but you aren't healthy and you aren't happy? The point of prioritizing health and fitness should not be to try to force our body to look a certain way or to try to reach a certain number on the scale. And while it's okay to have physical goals if you're in a healthy place to do so, we need to consider all of the other reasons why we are doing what we're doing, or else you're going to end up extremely frustrated along your journey. And by focusing on all of these other metrics of progress, you can make sure that you are working on all different aspects of your life at one time, rather than just one tiny little aspect of health and fitness. So now let's discuss 15 non-weight related ways to track progress. Now, I do just want to mention that everyone's journey is different. There are some people that are able to weigh themselves, that are able to track physical progress, and it does not impact their mental health. It does not lead to obsession. It does not lead to restriction or to a poor relationship to themselves. And if you are one of those people, then just make sure that if you are tracking physical progress, that you are doing it in proper ways. I do have 2 guides that I created that I will link down below. One is going to break down 20 different non-weight related ways that you can track progress. And the other one also breaks down 20 ways that you can track non-weight related progress, plus additional methods for how to properly track physical progress if that's something that you're going to do. Personally, I do not ever weigh myself. Even when I go to the doctor, I let them take my weight, but I don't look. As someone who has struggled with eating disorders in the past, I know that it is best for me to just avoid even looking at the number on the scale at all. And to me, I care way more about how I feel in my body than I care about a specific number. So in the case of tracking physical progress, you have to be really honest with yourself about whether or not that impacts your mental health and your relationship to yourself and your body. As I go through these 15 different categories, you can go ahead and you can either take out a piece of paper and you can assess each one of these categories, or you can just do this mentally if you're not in a place where you're able to take out a piece of paper right now, or you can even type this up in your phone if you want to. But for each one of these categories, I want you to just imagine a scale that has the numbers 1 through 5 on it. And 5 is going to be over here, and 5 stands for the most satisfied. And over here, we're going to have 0, and that stands for the most dissatisfied. So for each one of these categories that I go through and explain, I want you to either take a physical note on a piece of paper or just take a mental note of where you feel like you're at in terms of being satisfied or dissatisfied with that particular category. So number 1, your overall stress levels. How often do you feel stressed, and how much does stress impact your life? Number 2 is your overall mood. Now, this one might sound a little bit weird. How does health and fitness affect my overall mood? But whenever I was at my skinniest, I was also at my most miserable. And for the longest time, I had made myself think that whenever I just weighed this certain number on the scale, that I was going to feel so amazing, I was going to be so happy. And the exact opposite was true. And that was because in order for me to attain and maintain that weight, I was draining myself. I was draining my energy. I wasn't eating enough food, which was making me constantly hangry. I wasn't socializing. I wasn't hanging out with my friends. I didn't want to do anything that involved eating too much. And I spent so much of my time focusing on fitness. And so if your overall mood and life satisfaction is being decreased by your approach to health and fitness, then it's probably time to reassess. Whereas it can be true on the opposite end as well, where if you completely neglect your body, you don't listen to your body, you don't take care of your body, you don't focus on nourishment or healthy forms of movement, then you also may be dissatisfied with your overall mood. Number 3 is energy. Do you have enough energy to sustain yourself throughout the day? Are you nourishing yourself in a way that provides you with energy? Do you need to focus on eating more food? Do you need to focus on eating different foods, making overall different choices when it comes to nourishment? Number 4 is your overall integration of health promoting habits. This doesn't need to be anything extremely strict, and this doesn't need to be anything specific. This has to do with what makes you feel healthy, what gives you energy, what makes you feel good. Maybe that means drinking more water. Maybe it means focusing on more protein. Maybe it means making sure that you eat some protein, carbs, and fats with every meal. It could also mean eating more fiber or focusing on more whole foods. Overall, how satisfied are you with how you integrate health positive habits into your life? Number 5 is movement intuition. Are you able to listen to your body's needs and desires when it comes to movement, exercise, and fitness? Now, what this means is how satisfied are you with your ability to be in tune with your body? If you did not get good sleep last night, or if you're feeling a little under the weather, are you able to tune into your body? Are you able to realize that maybe you need to take a break from exercise, or that maybe you need to do something such as yoga or something that's a little more slow paced as opposed to pushing yourself in the gym? And are you able to follow through with those intuitive needs? Or once again, we could be on the opposite side of the spectrum where maybe you're not integrating movement into your life at all. Now, this can include movement that helps you to reach specific goals, whether those are physical goals or just health related goals, or this could mean movement that makes you feel good in your body, that just makes you feel healthier, gives you more energy, and overall makes you feel better. Number 6 is nourishment intuition. How in touch do you feel with your hunger signals, with your cravings, your nutritional needs? Are you aware of when you're hungry, or do you oftentimes feel out of control around food? Number 7 is competence. Do you feel like you have the knowledge and tools necessary to reach your goals? Do you feel like you have a clear path forward? Whether you just want to feel healthier, whether you want to improve a specific metric of your health, or whether it's a physical goal, do you feel like you have the knowledge and the tools in order to reach that goal? Number 8 is your overall body image. How do you feel about your body? How do you feel toward your body? Do you feel like you tend to beat yourself up more? Do you feel negative toward your body? Do you feel like you use exercise or food as a form of punishment toward your body? Or do you feel neutral about your body? Do you know that you are more than just your body? Do you choose to love and to nurture your body regardless of how you feel about yourself or your body in your lower moments? Number 9 is self-sabotage. How easy or difficult is it for you to follow through with reaching your goals? Do you feel like you are always procrastinating and always self-sabotaging, always finding a reason or an excuse to get in the way? Or do you feel like whenever you set out to reach a specific goal that it's relatively easy for you to reach that goal and to integrate the necessary habits and actions in order to reach that goal? Number 10 is food freedom. Do you feel a sense of freedom with food, or do you have a more rigid and controlling relationship with food? Overall, how satisfied do you feel with your relationship to food? Do you feel controlled by food, or do you feel like when you go out, you can go ahead and order whatever you want without having to feel guilty or shameful for your choices? Number 11 is sleep quality. How is the overall quality of your sleep, and how satisfied do you feel with your sleep quality? Number 12 is strength goals and fitness performance. Are you reaching your strength and fitness-based goals, or do you even have any goals at all when it comes to getting stronger? Or this doesn't even have to regard intense workouts like weightlifting. Maybe you do have specific weightlifting goals, or maybe there's a particular yoga pose that you're trying to master. I've talked about this a lot, but I personally took up figure skating last year and I absolutely love it. And I have so many specific goals of different things that I'm learning when it comes to figure skating. And that is a form of movement that is for enjoyment purposes. So I do love to weightlift and I do have specific weightlifting goals. It's perfectly okay to not have any goals whatsoever. So if that's the case for you, then that means that you're satisfied with this particular component. So for this category, you would mark dissatisfied if you wish you did have specific goals that you wanted to focus on that were more strength or fitness or performance based, but you haven't set those for yourself because you haven't thought about that aspect of health and wellness. Or you could also select that you're dissatisfied with this category if you do have specific goals, but you haven't put any time or attention or effort toward reaching them, or you're dissatisfied with your overall ability to reach those goals. If you're satisfied or you don't have any specific goals and have no desire to have them, then once again, you would be over on the satisfied range of the scale. Number 13 is health markers. This refers to how you feel overall in regards to your health or any health markers. Health markers could include blood sugar regulation, how much REM sleep you get, your overall activity levels, your cholesterol levels, the regularity of menstrual cycles, etc. Or it could be any other health metrics that you or a nutritional or medical professional are tracking. And if you're not focusing on any specific health metrics, then just how do you feel overall in terms of your health and well-being? Number 14 is digestion. How would you rate your overall digestion? Do you feel like there are certain aspects of health or wellness that you could be focusing on more to have better digestion, or do you feel overall satisfied? And number 15 is your overall level of confidence in yourself as a whole person. So how do you feel about yourself as an entire being, not just your physical body? Is this something that you've even thought of? Do you put time and attention and energy into other aspects of yourself and your life, or does the majority of your focus go into your physical body? Do you feel like the majority of your sense of self-worth and purpose is in your physical body and how your physical body looks? Or do you feel confident that who you are as a person is more important than just your physical body? So now you've assessed all of these areas of your life, and what do you do with this assessment? How do you actually work toward bettering those areas that maybe you scored a dissatisfied score in? Now, it's really, really important when it comes to focusing on goals that we don't go from 0 to 100. So we don't need to work on and improve every single area of your health that you feel dissatisfied in all at once. I want you to just pick 1 or 2 of those categories, and it's up to you whether you pick pick the categories that you are the most dissatisfied in, or the categories where you fall maybe somewhere more in the middle. You're just gonna pick one or two for now. You can always come back to the other ones later. And now you can take some time to reflect on and ask yourself why you feel dissatisfied about this particular category regarding your overall health and fitness and wellness. And then you're going to determine and break down little actionable steps that you can take in order to move yourself more toward feeling satisfied in that area of your life. So as an example, one of the categories was nutrition intuition and how in touch you feel with your cravings, whether you feel out of control around food. So if this is a category that you scored really low in, you feel really dissatisfied with this aspect of your health in your life, then first of all, you can go ahead and ask yourself why you feel dissatisfied in this area. Maybe whenever you feel out of control around food, that causes you to feel a lot of shame. Maybe it feels like it gets in the way of your life. It can be helpful to break down our dissatisfaction and try to understand a little bit more about why we feel that way. Then what are some small actions that you can start to take to feel better about this aspect of your life, to start to feel more satisfied about it? If you're really struggling with your relationship to food, then maybe one thing that you need to do is to stop dieting. Or maybe it's time to work with an expert, such as a therapist or someone who can help you to have a better relationship with food. Or I also have two books that I always recommend to anyone who struggles with their relationship to food, especially when it comes to binge eating or feeling out of control around food. And I will link those two books down below. But there are so many resources out there today. There are so many different podcasts. You can go ahead and listen to podcast episodes that I have. You can find tons of other podcasts on the specific things that you're wanting to work on by just typing whatever that is into the search bar. So essentially, we are determining the particular categories that we feel dissatisfied in and that we want to work on. And then we are uncovering why we feel that way. And then we are just determining small actionable goals that we can start to implement in our life in order to start to become more satisfied with that particular category. As I mentioned, I did create a guide for this, which will be linked down below. If you want scales that are already created for you, you can track your progress over time. There are also several different journal prompts in there to help you to reflect each time that you fill out the guide. And as always, any other podcasts or blogs that I have related to this topic are linked down below, and I'll see you in the next video.